friends, welcome to the Christian and Tiffany channel. Today we're continuing our discussion on the Enneagram series, and we are talking about Enneagram number 2. Number 2, the beloved servants of the world.
Give me a chance, yeah baby, try, just one more night, then make up your mind.
So we are going to give you 5 things that you need to know about a 2. If you are one, you're married to one, you think you might be one, all those things. The first thing is the childhood belief. Then we're going to talk about stereotypes. Then we're going to talk about strengths, weaknesses, and finally how to relate.
You remembered all that. Good job.
Because we've done
so
this
proud
video
of you.
100 times. Okay.
Wow.
Being real. Okay, so let's start with the childhood belief.
Let's do it. I like it. That their needs aren't important. I think the number 2 feels like their needs aren't important.
Yeah.
So they do for others. They are doers. And they reflect. I guess they could be called reflectors in a way because they kind of reflect.
Yeah. So, they grew up for some reason feeling like their needs weren't important. Maybe they have a lot of siblings. Maybe they were an only child and they didn't get a lot of attention. And they found that they were able to get attention, affirmation, and love when they did for others. And that just became an ingrained pattern that my needs really aren't important. Their needs are important. And if I meet their needs, I get attention. And so that's what they do as adults. So it's all about doing for others in order to feel loved. So let's talk about some of the stereotypes.
Stereotypes. Needy, clingy, weak. Those
Now,
are a couple that you hear of.
Here's the thing about stereotypes. They annoy me because when I first heard needy, clingy, I was like, I'm not a 2. That's not me, right? Because you're like turned off by all of those things. But honestly, you can be a 2 and not be needy and clingy. So keep listening, dig deep, and figure it out because these are stereotypes.
Well, a good stereotype is Mother
Teresa. Mother Teresa.
Oh.
She's a 2. So they are people that give and serve and bend over backwards, are always volunteering, always doing those.
It can change the world.
Yeah. So let's talk about strengths. We've already kind of started. So they're doers. They get things done. They're very intuitive and they can see where a need needs to be met and they just step right in and they do it. They get it done.
Needs to be met. I like that.
A need that needs to be met.
Yes.
They are very organized, very disciplined. You want them on your team. You want them to be your friend because they really are kind, caring, generous people. And when they are healthy, a strength also of a 2 is that they know themselves well and they're able to set boundaries in their relationships to be able to say no because honestly 2s have a hard time saying no.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's a great segue into 3. Weaknesses.
Weaknesses, yeah. So, deep down inside, they feel like their needs aren't important. And so, ultimately, they're trying to get their needs met by earning the right to have their needs met. And so, oftentimes, what they'll do is, especially if they have a lot of needs and they're feeling very neglected, they're going to do. Let me serve you, let me help you, let me serve you, right? And then people start to push the 2 away because it's uncomfortable. They are intuitive, we've mentioned that, and so they pay attention to detail, and so they prize themselves on being able to anticipate what people's needs are and to meet them without having to be asked to meet them, and they want to be applauded for that, but oftentimes they're rejected for that because it's creepy. Like, why did you know that it was my 5th anniversary of when my squirrel died, or whatever.
Squirrel.
I had a pet squirrel growing up. I don't know if I went to squirrel. I don't know why. Anyways.
We have kids and we watch a lot of movies.
So, what else? Let's look at our notes here.
Yeah, no, weaknesses.
Codependency. Talk about that.
Yeah, they become codependent.
This is not helpful. Okay. So, because they need to be needed, a lot of times they will be drawn to broken people.
I want you to want me. Remember that song from, what was that, 10 Things I Hate About You or something like that?
I remember.
I just dated myself. Well, I mean, the hair probably dated myself, the lack of, but
I date you. You don't date yourself.
Ooh, girl.
We're
Date
so focus, babe.
Focus.
Okay, so they're drawn to broken people because broken people will always need them to fix them. So they create this codependency of you're broken and you need me. I need to be needed, and so I need you to need me. And so then it's this like cycle where nobody really gets healed, nobody becomes independent or autonomous, and it becomes unhealthy. And so they also lose themselves. So you're talking about the reflection. Yep. They put out what they think others want to see. They become what others want them to be, and they really lose sight of themselves. And so midlife crisis is kind of a thing for 2s. Years down the road, they realize, I have no idea who I am. I have no idea what I want. It's like the runaway bride. She doesn't know how she likes her eggs, right? Watch the movie if you haven't.
Wow. Who's in that movie?
Richard Gere and Julia Roberts, of course. Anyways.
We're so old.
So they can lose themselves because they try so hard to be what everybody needs them to be or wants them to be.
Well, on the flip side of that, another weakness on the total opposite end of the spectrum is 2s really do, they're very intuitive towards relationships. And so often they will see needs before anybody else. And they view it as nobody else can meet that need. Only I can meet that need because I see that need before you see that need. And so I can get it done. And that has a tendency to lead towards some pride.
Mm-hmm. So one of the greatest, inner weaknesses of a 2 is that they are actually very proud because they are so focused on their image and how people perceive them. It's actually an issue of pride, being very self-focused in how other people look at them. And so, but they don't project it. So how to relate to the 2s,
yeah.
right, is if you have a 2 in your relationship that is constantly being who you want them to be, are pushovers. Easy, just like, hey, where do you want to go eat? Wherever you want to eat. What do you want to go watch? Whatever you want to watch, right? You have to dig deep and let them know that you really care about what they think. Don't take advantage of it, 2 people, because it won't last and you're going to end up with a broken relationship. You have to really give them space and comfort enough in the relationship to figure out who they are and help them find that out. Help them figure it out. Ask them, say, no, it's your turn to pick. Really? No, you have to pick. We're not going to eat unless you pick. Where are we going? Be persistent.
And same thing, whenever you have to correct 2 or talk to 2, maybe it's, work, maybe it's family, maybe it's a child, right? And you're needing to correct something in them, because they take everything and really internalize it. And it really means a lot to them when, somebody that they're trying to meet the need of speaks to their lives. You need to give them affirmation. Give. Then you give the little bit of, hey, I need you to do this a little bit differently. And then you want to follow up with lots and lots of affirmation.
You can be honest with the 2. I mean, you don't have to sugarcoat things. But the thing is, they're working so hard to get your affirmation, to get that security in their relationship. And so the best way to diffuse the 2 when they're upset, when they're stressed, when there's tension in your relationship, is to meet that immediate need of, I love you. And I'm so thankful for how you serve our family, for all the things that you do for me. I'm so sorry that I haven't thanked you for the last 15 years for doing this, but I've noticed, and I'm sorry that I took it for granted. Paying attention to those things and acknowledging them, even the 2 will be like, oh, no, you don't have to thank me. Oh, friend, you have to thank them.
Jake Siomi-Cook.
You have to thank them because really deep down inside, they have very high expectations to receive thanks, to get credit for that hard labor that they are doing for you. You have to acknowledge it. And once you do, then they're like, okay, they love me. They feel secure enough in the relationship to where you can start working out some of those nitty-gritty details that maybe aren't working in the relationship that you need to bring up. But you got to meet that need first. Yeah. Otherwise, it just raises the tension. And, the thing with the 2 is the more you push them away, the more they become desperate to hold on to you. So push, they cling. You push, they cling. You push, they cling. So if you feel like your boundaries are being crossed by a 2, stop pushing them away. Give them a hug. Tell them thank you. And I guarantee they're going to back off because they've achieved what they wanted. And that was the affirmation that they've been lacking in that relationship.
Absolutely. That's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Talk about wings.
Well, they help you fly. They have them on airplanes. No. So there's 2 wing 3.
I'm putting you on the spot. Come on.
And 2 wing 1. So 2 wing 3. So 3s are, achievers. They get stuff done. So a 2 with a 3 will get stuff done. They're great salespeople. They get stuff done.
If you're wondering if you're a wing 3 or a wing 1, and you know that you're a 2, the big difference is that wing 3 are much more focused on doing what pleases others and sometimes can be deceiving. They're willing to lie, bend the rules, that sort of thing, in order to secure that relationship and that friendship.
Yep.
2s with a wing one, however, have this high standard of morality and that kind of inner critic that will not allow them to bend the rules. And so that's kind of the telltale sign of whether you're a wing 3 or a wing 1.
That's so good. Girl, you're smart. You got them brains.
All right. The other thing too about 2s is that when they're healthy, they gravitate towards a healthy 4, like some of the things that you would see in a healthy 4. Like they're very individualistic, they are in touch with themselves, they're highly creative, they have great imaginations, and they can contribute a lot to a team. When they're unhealthy, they become like an average or unhealthy 8, which just means they get more aggressive, more pushy, and more domineering in their relationship. And so you may be thinking that somebody that you're in a relationship is an 8, but it might just be that they're a very unhealthy 2, and you can get to a really great place in your relationship if you can help them find.
And if they're starting to get really challenging and pushy, and you've been married for like 15 years or 20 years, they're probably on the point where they're about to break if they're constantly that way, and need to discover themselves. And so you don't have to separate from your spouse to discover yourself.
It's so true. So when you first met and fell in love, there was something there that drew you to each other. You were real with it yourselves. And, there are some things that you do. You put your best foot forward. Like, he was a lot more romantic when we were dating than he is now. He's still romantic,
Girl,
but...
I was sending you the messages today. I was like, you got the juicy lips. And
I hate...
hot stuff.
Private. Anyways, you totally just blew my thoughts. Quit with that. Okay.
You're so pretty. You're so beautiful.
I mean, don't stop, but stop.
Oh, yeah.
We're going on too long. So, bottom line is, friends, if your relationship is unhealthy or your spouse is unhealthy, you have the ability to love them into health, affirm them into health, help them discover themselves, but do it together. All right.
Very well put.
That's all we have for Enneagram 2. If you don't know what you are, you've never done an assessment, or you've done one but you're still confused, click the link down below and try our assessment and see if that might help you nail down exactly what your number is. We're also working on a guide or resource that goes into a lot more detail than what we've discussed today, and we'll be releasing that in an ebook form by January, maybe sooner, so watch for that. Subscribe, click the bell so you can get notifications. Our Enneagram 3 video is coming up soon. Keep watching.
And if you have any questions, hit us up at info@christianandtiffany.com.
Email us. We would love to hear from you.
Any future topics, send them to us. We want them.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.